your favorite hit music station.
Every night and every day, I will always have you with me. Yeah, me. You're putting a big, big smile on my face. Without you, I would be so incomplete.
Oh, funk, baby, get your dance on. It's a celebration, sensation in your body, feel the vibrations. Lot of fun, smiles everywhere from here to there. Fresh FM in your ear now. Don't you worry, cause it's guts and glory. Wanna know your story? Have you asked for more? And know that for a fact we will never keep you waiting. Fresh FM, your favorite hit music station.
Your favorite hit music station. Fresh, your favorite hits on and on. Fresh, your favorite hit music.
There's nothing worse than a heated argument or a senseless fistfight on the road. Just chill. You'll eventually get to where you're going and unharmed. In the meantime, keep on listening to Fresh FM to maintain your composure. Don't worry, we got your back.
Fresh FM, your favorite hit music station. Fresh FM, your favorite hit music station.
Every night and every day, I will always have you with me. Yeah, me. You're putting a big, big smile on my face. Without you, I would be so incomplete.
Oh, funk, baby, get your dance on. It's a celebration, sensation in your body, feel the vibrations. Lot of fun, smiles everywhere from here to there. Fresh FM in your ear now. Don't you worry, cause it's guts and glory. Wanna know your story? Have you asked for more? And know that for a fact we will never keep you waiting. Fresh FM, your favorite hit music station.
Your favorite hit music station. Fresh, your favorite hits on and on. Fresh, your favorite hit music station's gonna go on and on.
From the Philippines to the world and across the universe. This is the supremacy of hip music. Nothing but the freshest. All day. Every day. This is
Your favorite hit music station. Fresh FM.
Hi, this is Larry London. You're listening to Border Crossings here on VOA TV. We are joined today for our holiday special by one of the greats. He recently marked the 50, I guess it would be second anniversary now, of American Pie, because it came out in 1971. And he's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. There's not a thing that the man hasn't done. His voice and his music has been heard all around the world. We would like to welcome to the Voice of America, Don McLean. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Right now I'm kind of doing a little promotional work for a Christmas album I have out called Christmas Memories Remixed and Remastered. And soon I'll be coming out with a new album, American Boys, that will be in February. It's all done. And we have a documentary movie out, which is on Paramount Plus, called The Day the Music Died, the story of Don McLean's American Pie. And so I've got a lot of things going on and a lot of touring planned, but right now I'm home for a while, which is very, very nice.
So how does it feel, Don McLean, when people like Tupac had said that they looked up to you, and Drake has sampled your music? I mean, that's very R&B, hip-hop, very different from the folk rock music you gave us in the 70s.
Well, I think it shows that those guys are looking around at everything. The Drake thing is one of the big mysteries. how he found the Primetime album, which is not an album that I, is front and center for me. But one of my an album I'm very proud of. But again, it kind of got lost. He found that, and he found two songs on that album. One was called "The Wrong Thing to Do," and the other was called "When a Good Thing Goes Bad." And he used the lyrics from both of those songs to write "Do It Wrong," which was one of his breakthrough monster hits. So I owe him a lot, and I owe him a big thank you. And I would love to talk to him sometime and find out how he discovered that record and that music.
That's for sure. Don McLean, who's come up through the years. You're 78 now, and your American Pie came out in 71, which would have made you how old when you wrote that song?
I don't know, 27, something like that, 26. But I had a 4 years of college. So I got a college degree, which a lot of my contemporaries were very talented and wanted to get into get going singing and making records. I got started going to college in '65 and just followed it. I said, well, I'm going to follow this through. I'm not going to just stop. So I made it all the way till I got the degree, and I'm glad I did. It was a very interesting experience. I learned a tremendous amount about a lot of things that I never would have taken the time to learn about. Mm-hmm. So I recommend it.
And you are not only a Grammy Award honoree, you've got the BBC Lifetime Achievement Award. The accolades go on and on. Your song "American Pie" is in the Library of Congress National Recording Registry, one of the top 5 songs of the 20th century. 50 million albums sold. So this probably never gets old to you. I mean, you probably still love doing what you're doing at this age and at this stage of the game. You're still out there performing.
As long as I can hit the high notes, I'll be out there, and if I don't look too decrepit, I'm holding it together.
And one of the hardest songs to sing is a song you wrote, and it's been resung by Roy Orbison and so many others. It's "Crying." I love that song.
Well, Roy and a guy named Joe Melson wrote that song, and Roy wrote a lot of songs with different people. And songs I didn't even realize. Some of the Buddy Holly tunes that I like, actually, Roy wrote. He wrote Claudette, which I love too. The Everly Brothers.
Everly Brothers. Yeah. Give us a couple choruses of "Crying." I'd love to hear it, unless you're not tuned for crying.
When I saw you last night, you held my hand so tight. When you stopped to say hello, though you wish me well, you could tell that I ain't in that crying over you.
I love it. There it is. I love it. I love it, Don McLean. The golden tones, the dulcet tones. The man who's given us so many hits. You wrote a song that Perry Como recorded.
Yes, it went like this.
All right.
And I love you so. People ask me how I've lived till now. I tell them I don't know. Yeah,
I love it.
That was the most recorded song I ever wrote. Yes, I know how lonely life can be. Shadows follow me. That was recorded a lot by Elvis Presley. In the last year of his life, he sang it almost every night.
So you were big into Westerns when you were growing up?
Yeah,
Gene Autry and the Six Shooters?
Yeah. I'm sort of a Western aficionado, if you will. I love the silent era with Tom Mix and the early talkies with the great Ken Maynard and Buck Jones, Tim McCoy, all those guys. I have huge libraries on this stuff. And that's why I made an album called the Western Album of this music, which I also love very much, the Sons of the Pioneers. And I'm very lucky because the record company that is putting out the Christmas album is also going to be releasing the new album in February, American Boys. And they are going to put an additional, I think it's 15 albums out that I own. And they're all going to be on vinyl, and they're all going to be CDs. And one of those will be the Western album, when you'll be able to get that album. And I created the cover. It was a collage that I made. If you ever see that album and you look at it, and it'd be nice to have it on vinyl and see a big version of that collage, because you can see all the Western stars that are in there all linked together. I'm in there on horseback too.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any songs in your catalog that were a surprise hit to you that you didn't expect, like, Vincent or something? Was there a song that you put out and you said, whoa, I never imagined it becoming as big as it did?
Crying was a very difficult song to get out. It came out in an album called Chain Lightning, which was released in 1978. And then nothing happened, and in 1980, 2 years later, a disc jockey in Holland, of all places, started playing the version of Crying that was on there, and it became #1 in Holland. Complete fluke. So I flew over to Holland and did some TV shows, and it went #1 all over Europe. And then EMI had this. We didn't have a record label in the United States at that point. EMI, then it went #1 all over the world. And then we got on a record company in the United States, Millennium Records. And they made it #1 in a lot of markets, and went #5, I think, nationally. And then we had a few more records. I made another album for them called Believers, and we re-recorded Castles in the Air, and that went top 10. And I did what I think is one of the best records I ever made, was Since I Don't Have You. And I had all the boys on that, the Jordanaires, and it's just pure fun. And I sang some of the highest notes I've ever hit. And I did it because I had to stop singing for a month because I'd almost lost my voice on this British tour that I was on. And they would be rugged for anybody. They would usually be 27 shows in 30 days, but nothing like what Elvis Presley had to do with the international 60 shows in 30 days. Oh my God. If that doesn't make you a junkie, I don't know what would.
But yeah, when you wrote American Pie about the tragic death of Buddy Holly in 1959 and Ritchie Valens and the Big Bopper, at that time they were doing the buses, and then they said we're going to get an airplane and try and make it to Iowa, I think it was.
The thing is that they were singing every single night, and Buddy Holly had to do his laundry. So he took a plane, but he would only get a few extra hours to do his laundry, and he had to sing that night. So he wasn't going to gain anything. It wasn't like he was jetting off to have a few days off. There were no days off. There was frostbite. There were broken down buses. This was as bad as it gets. And this was Fargo in North Dakota when winter was winter, in 1959. Oh, Lord. And the drummer did get frostbite. But, wow. I have to say one thing. I'm a bit of a stoic. I like simple things. I mean, I am a wealthy man, but I've always lived way below my means, and I never thought of myself that way. But after all those years of, doing pretty well, it's added up, But when I see things like private planes and yachts and buses that are, multi-million-dollar, I don't particularly like that, Right. I like Pete Seeger. He used to have his banjo and his guitar on his back, and he would turn up at a school and take his banjo out and had his microphone and he'd start playing and talking and telling a story and then getting the audience to sing and this and that.
Mhm.
That was what I liked, and the more decadent it's gotten, I think the worse it's gotten.
Right.
I think that that's the song, the American boys invented rock and roll. I mean, they were all country boys. They were all looking at working, in the cotton field or plowing turnips or something,
Mhm.
So being on the road and making a couple $1,000s a night was not a hard thing for them to do,
Mhm.
and sometimes they didn't realize that you could do too much of it and you'd be so tired that you'd fall victim to taking, stimulants and so on. And that's when that's what happened to Elvis. He couldn't
Yeah.
make his body do the show anymore. So he was
Right.
forcing his body to do what it didn't want to do. It needed rest.
Don McLean's talking to us. Christmas Memories Remixed and Remastered. That's the name of the new album. Favorite Christmas songs of all time. What are they? You put them on the album, so tell me about them.
Well, there's a variety of songs. There's a kind of a jazzy selection of the Christmas Waltz, and which is very swinging, and Let It Snow, which also swings, and with a little like quintet kind of thing, and background singers though, and there's stuff in there. It's very big productions. And then the more, Hollywood ones, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Winter Wonderland, White Christmas is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Well, Christmas music lives on forever.
It does.
And it's, it's always so popular. Listen to, in fact, the number one song on the chart right now, on the Billboard chart, is Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Well, I wish they play and push Blue Christmas, our version, because it swings. It's good.
I want to hear it. I definitely want to hear it. I'm going to look forward to it. The new album is Don McLean Christmas Memories Remixed and Remastered. And before I let you go, because I know today's a press day for you and you probably got other interviews, is tell me if you have a message for our audience, which includes the troops, if you have the worldwide audience that are celebrating a variety of different holidays right now, what does Christmas mean to you? Do you have a message that you'd like to send?
Yeah, well, lately I've been thinking about the beauty of the year, how it's all been worked out. You start in the cold of January with a brand new year ahead of you, and you move into the beautiful springtime, and then you have the hot days of summer and glorious summer and swimming and boats and the sunshine, and then the fall. And the fall always comes. I wrote a song called When July Comes, because the 4th of July comes and then almost the summer's over. It happens fast.
Yes.
And it always happens faster than you think it should. It's almost this story of life every single year. And then you're into the Thanksgiving and the leaves are turning and it's poignant, and football games, I guess. And in my case, I always really do think about how thankful I am for everything that's happened to me. Even the bad things that have happened to me have been good for me. I needed that in some way. And I realized that. And now, then you move into Christmas, which is really a time of forgiveness, a time of trying to understand other people, getting outside yourself, loving other people. And it's a beautiful way to end the year. And on that beautiful December, and then we start all over again. So that's why those songs are so inspired, because that's how people feel.
Mm-hmm. And what's Christmas like in the McLean household? I mean, you get the kids back, the grandkids. What's going on?
No, I'll just be out here with Paris, and we have their family, and we have our dog, and we have a lot of presents, a lot of money. I'm going to spend a lot of money. I know that.
Well, spend some on me.
Okay.
Thank you, Don McLean, for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you.
Thank you.
And I'm very excited. Christmas Memories, remixed and remastered by the Don McLean, who's with us right now on the show. thank you again, and happy holidays to you and your family, and all the best to you. And I look forward to talking to you again the next time when you have the next project.
I look forward to
coming
talking to you too. Very nice. I mean that.
Thank you, Don. Don McLean. My name is Larry London, and this is Border Crossings on VOA TV. Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings. Today we're joined by a country music singer-songwriter who has won Grammys and other awards as well. Quite accomplished. You've seen him on all the different country music television shows, and I believe the Lifetime channel as well. And every year he goes on a holiday tour. We'd like to welcome John Barry to Border Crossings. It's great to have you, John.
Good to be with you. Thank you so much.
What do you like best about this business, the singing or the songwriting or the performing? What's your favorite part of this?
Performance is my favorite thing. I love going out. I love touring. I love the smell of diesel fuel in the morning, and going city to city, and that's my favorite part of it.
Mm-hmm. And what has been your favorite performance?
Probably one of my favorite performances at State Theater in Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's quite the venue. And one night we were, a couple years ago, we were shooting a video there, and the audience knew it. And when I walked out, they just went crazy, more so than normal. And it was quite emotional. And they knew that I got bit emotional, so they got even rowdier. But we had to do it again for the video, and they went even more over the top. And so it was pretty cool. It was a great venue, always a great audience, and that Western Michigan, Southwest Michigan is a good area for us.
Yes, well, I'm from Michigan, and I know that the Michigan music people there are diehard fans, and they love country music. They love all kinds of music there. Bob Seger's from there, and there's been a lot of great music over the years. We're talking to John Barry here on Border Crossings. John's re-releasing an album called Thomas Road, which did very well for you. Over your career, you've had 27 albums. I was looking, and that's a lot of albums for someone in a career.
Yeah, I did 6 albums before I ever signed with a label. And then I was on Capitol Records for quite a few records. All the hit songs I have were on Capitol. My Oh Holy Night Christmas album was with Capitol. And then I had an album with Lyric Street and a couple of albums with a large independent label out of LA. And then I started making records again on my own. And I've done a ton of them on my own again. So.
And why do you think that Christmas albums, Christmas music resonates like it does? I mean, you've built quite a reputation as being one of those singers who provides Christmas music at the holidays, and you've done that regularly for a bit. But what is it about Christmas music, do you think?
Well, for those of us who are followers of Christ, it's all a celebration of His birth, and that's a huge deal. And we, I tell everybody in our home, raising our kids, we love Santa Claus and we love exchanging gifts, and we love all that goes along with that. But the focus is the birth of Christ. So we have fun with our Christmas show, and we do a lot of the old favorites, a lot of standards, but that's what our focus is.
Mm-hmm. John Barry's talking with us now. You've also got an album called Christmas, which is a digital album. And that's doing well for you as well. How do you manage to balance everything? It's the holidays. I mean, this is a busy, busy time now. Family, career.
Yeah, it is a busy time of year. We're doing 15 cities on this tour. Sometimes it's been as many as 24 cities. And it's funny, I have a song called I Don't Want to Rush This Christmas. And we're out on the road rushing Christmas. But But we try. This year's gonna be really nice. So we'll have that opportunity to actually be home. The last show of the Christmas tour is the 17th, and in Athens, Georgia, where I lived most of my life. And then we'll go back. Then we'll go home to Nashville, and we're playing the Grand Ole Opry, closing out the Grand Ole Opry Christmas show at the on Monday the 18th.
Oh,
So
the Grand Ole Opry. That's great.
That'd be a real honor. We've done it a time or two before, but always a real treat to walk out on that stage, and especially closing out that Christmas show.
Right, and all the legends, all the icons that have performed on the Grand Ole Opry stage. That's got to feel great. You know, their spirits are still echoing off the walls there, I'm sure. I always like to ask artists, what three singers would you like to collaborate with, dead or alive, as your wish list? If you could pick three people that you'd like to perform with, who would those three people be?
Well, two of my dream I got to do. Winona did a song with me, and that was on an album I did for Capitol, but the album never came out. But she loved the song so much, she included it on her album, The Other Side, a song called We Can't Unmake Love. So that was a dream to get to sing with Winona. Then we were in the studio recording an album called My Heart is Bethlehem, and we recorded We Three Kings. And Billy Dean came and sang with me, which was a real treat, but we needed another king. And somebody told us that Kenny Rogers was down the street recording, and I sent a note to him. And 45 minutes later, in walks Kenny Rogers, and he sang one of the We Three King parts.
Wow.
That was over the top.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's for many years, even before I had a record deal, we lived in the same county in Georgia, and he was very kind to have me at his farm performing for some different things they had out there. And then I've been able to tour with her a number of times, but I've never gotten to sing with her. I would love to sing with Reba McEntire. I would love to have that opportunity.
Yeah, Reba, she's the queen. She and Dolly Parton, Reba and Dolly are it in terms of country music. We're talking to John Barry, who's with us here on Border Crossings. And yeah, I thought you might have said Patsy Cline, because I know you did a posthumous song with her. And after passing, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have done that live together?
Wouldn't it? Yeah, that's true. I should have thought of that. That was a real treat to get to do that. And but it would be a real treat to do it in person.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, John Barry, for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on. Come back again and see us, after the Christmas album's out, and after you're ready for the next album, we'd like to have you back on and find out what's going on so we can catch up. But thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it very much, and invite friends to go to johnbarry.com and see what we're up to. We're on social media, it's John Barry Music, and click and follow us, and you'll find out more than you really need to know.
All right. Well, thank you, John Barry, for being with us. And as I mentioned, the albums are Thomas Road and the digital album Christmas. My name is Larry London. You're watching the holiday edition of Border Crossings on VOA TV.